Today's light is a nostalgia buy, one of several. So this is, or looks like, a Surefire G2 Nitrolon from back in the day. It sure as hell looks like it, but it is not. This is a Chinese clone that I saw while browsing Aliexpress and decided to buy it. And, well, I don't regret the purchase. Now, you guys know that I'm a sucker for odd finds, odd budget finds. It's almost my slogan that I take the hit so you don't have to, sort of thing, where I try to find good buys in the budget realm. I guess that's always been one of the things that's drawn me to the budget light spectrum. You know, the deal hunter in me aside, this has some good and some bad qualities. And I always liked this light, and I ended up selling my original one that I bought in 2005 and used when I was a security officer. For a long time, I sold it finally. I think he wanted a light. But it's always been a very good light that I had then, and until the 18650s came along and were just, quite frankly, a better deal. But this I found, and it spoke to my heart, and I bought it. So here's, and I'll link to it. It cost a little over $30, and I would say it's worth it with a few caveats. So first of all, it came with the normal packaging here, and then came in a box. I actually had to cut it open. It was sealed in here. This is pretty strong stuff. I couldn't really even tear it. So it comes with, at least this version does, comes with the standard charger, and this is made for, I haven't even opened it yet. I have so many of these chargers lying around that I didn't bother to open it. And of course, this is the smaller base that is made for RCR123s. Now, I thought, even despite the appeal, the nice grip and the body, I thought before buying it, do I really want to go back to RCR123s? And I never really used them, even back in the day, because the voltage wasn't right. Back when this came out, you had 6 volts maximum lights, and you couldn't do RCR123s because you're looking at 8.4 volts, which would be too much for the bulb to handle. Or you had to use a buck driver light like this has currently. This is running a new XRE R2. It's the new style. You'll notice they don't look the same ever since about 2012 or 13, since they started making this new version. The old version with has not been made for a while like that. But now the original was supposed to have a twisty head. When I bought this, and one of the things that pissed me off to play with it when I first got it is that when I took it out, put the batteries in, fired it up, it didn't have the forward clicky. It's a reverse clicky. Major strike, because everybody knows that this light, which is what made it so cool, is it was a light of tactical grip, scratch resistance, and ergonomics. It feels good in your hand, but it's also supposed to have momentary on, and you twist the back to keep it on. Well, guess what? You can't do that. You can, however, lock it out. You just twist, and it's not going to come on. You turn it on like that, you certainly can. But that's the only way it's going to work as a twisty, is if you click it on and you do that. So you can lock it out. That's the good news. But other than that, it is just a very solid, very nice audible click and a reverse clicky. And it's one mode, this version. Of course, since it's a P60, you can drop in any buck driver P60 in there and you'll be fine. So we'll just take you out and show you the ultra shits that came with it. These actually did, I've done a runtime test, and I got, these are 1200 milliwatt amp. So they actually appear to be, good to that capacity, because you can run them a decent amount of time. I mean, I was really surprised. I thought I would immediately have to buy some more Orbtronics and just throw these in the recycle. Pretty reliable and a very nice beam. We're going to take it outside now, but I'm not disappointed by it. It's actually a good light with a good beam, and of course you have the flexibility to put whatever light you want. You can see that it's not a perfect match here. The body and the head, there's clear differences between the original Surefire and what you're getting here. Still pretty nice. All right, let's go outside. So let's start at the wall. By the way, we're dealing with 240 lumens here, so 280 emitter lumens and around 200 to 240 out the front lumens. So we're not dealing with a whole lot of power, but what I'm getting visually is very impressive. We're going to go back there to the trees. I'm getting about 240 lumens. It is a steady, constant brightness with no heat feelings to the body. There is a slight discoloration or dark spot in the middle, up close, up through about 40 yards, and then it goes away after that. You may or may not be able to tell right here. That is what you can notice. I'm really impressed with how fat the beam is, but it is pretty dang useful. You can see out there by the fence line. Again, not dealing with a whole lot of lumens compared to the newer incarnations of the different emitters you can get. So we're not gonna ride high on the hog. We're just going to enjoy the good reach that we have. We're gonna point it up there at the trees, and it's making it okay. I wouldn't say that this is gonna reach that far, but it definitely has the beam propensity as far as what the type of beam it puts out. If it had more lumens, then it would be a lot more potent. But alas, it does not. So here we are a lot closer, and you can see, let's turn it back off and turn it back on. No difference. No difference in brightness. You get the same thing every time you turn it on. When I used my original Surefire back in the day, I was always loving the fact that it was a no-frills light that would always come on, and it would never come on in your pocket because it was a twisty. You had to twist it to get it on. And so that made it awesome because you never had the issues with it coming on in other modes. Or of course, it was only 65 lumens, but those were Surefire lumens, and they were pretty stout. At the time, it was that and the Maxfire, Brinkmann Maxfire LX, which was about 70 lumens. They were the big talks of the time, and if you wanted to get away from the big bulky mag lights, you could beat them by going with 100 or 120 lumen drop in, and that's how it would work. So that's what you did. You settled for a 100 lumen light, maybe 120 if you put a different bulb in there. So here we are over on the side, and you can see how nice this beam is. It's a throwy, very reliable but humble achiever. It's not gonna rock your world, but let me tell you folks, we've gotten spoiled in this world. We're used to all of these high lumen lights. You really don't need it. Look how well that lights up the fence. That's an excellent shot. Of all of my big throwers and all of the stuff I've shown you on this channel and the stuff you've seen all over YouTube with light enthusiasts everywhere, you do not lack anything with this humble little thrower. You really don't. You really don't need more than about 200 to 500 lumens. I'm going to stick by that. You really don't. Look at that. Now we're back. See, here we are. It's of course not going to be useful in the far ranges over there. You can barely see it, but still, this is a P60. It's made to be a close-up tactical light. It's made to be reliable. It's made to be, see, we've had it on all this time, and it's barely warm on the head. Barely warm on the head. You can totally hold it with the most sensitive of hands, and it's not going to get too hot. 240 lumens, and I'm making sure there's no mosquitoes on me because we're going into hot season here, and pretty soon my yard is going to be filled with all sorts of bugs again. Every time I do beam shots, I'll run into this problem. What kind of stories do you have to tell from your old? Do you have any Surefires? Do you still have any? People have pretty much moved away from them in the industry because basically they're like Mercedes or Cadillac. You only have them because of the name. They're really overrated. I've always been of the opinion that Surefire was pretty overrated. I'm not one of these people that would say Surefire was an invincible brand, because guess what? I know people that have had failures just like any. All of the brands can fail. But what are your experiences with them, and what kind of Surefire hosts do you still have? Do you have the any like this one or any others? Do you still have your RCR123 lights? Do you recommend them? Do you use them tactically? Does the runtime get in the way, the lesser runtime? Everybody knows the 18650s have pretty much cleaned the, and now the 21700s have pretty much wiped the floor with older offerings, because there's no point in using a higher voltage and generating more heat and less light. Why not generate less heat and more light, which is what the more efficient ones have done. So really impressed, folks. I mean, it's just a little humble light. I would rather have had a full tactical light, but you know what, it really doesn't matter. All right, let's go inside. Barely reaching those trees over there, but doing a very good job. I have no complaints. Giving me about 30K here, I'm guessing. Really impressive for what is offered here. No switch issues, solid switch. No flickering, no delays in coming on. Those of you who want to pick you up an extra P60 host, I would recommend this to you. In conclusion, sometimes it's not about the best or about the newest or the most lumens. Sometimes it's just about what strikes your fancy and puts you in that nostalgic mindset. Sometimes that works too. So if you're interested, I'll put the link where I got this. It's a pretty cool addition to your oldies but goodies collection. Y'all take care.